Hello students. The topic of this video lecture is Fraunhofer diffraction at multislit, or you can call this as a n-slit. Hope you might have seen my previous video lectures about Fraunhofer diffraction at single slit and double slit. Probably you may have an idea about the diffraction. So diffraction is nothing but bending of light beams. The bending occurs at the edge of the obstacles, and we have calculated the path difference, phase difference, and amplitude, as well as the intensity of the diffracted beam which is coming out from the single slit as well as the double slit in that video lecture. In this video lecture, I'm going to pass the light beams through the multislits which have n slits, and I'm going to calculate the same path difference, phase difference, amplitude, and how the intensity is being distributed. Well, first I would like to explain what is multislit. You know that in single slit we have only one openings, and through that opening we have allowed the light, whereas in the double slit we have two openings. In between the two openings we have the opaque region which won't allow the light, whereas the two openings which allows the light. In the multislit we have n number of openings. In between the n number of openings we have n minus 1 number of opaque region. It's nothing but log number of parallel slit of the same width separated by equal opaque space. You can call these multislits as grating. So if you could allow the light beams to pass through this slit, obviously we can see the diffraction pattern on the screen. So here we have slit A1, this is A1, B1, A2, B2, A3, B3. For my convenience, I have taken only 3 openings here, and the width of the opening is considered as A, and the width of the opaque region is considered as B. Now we are going to pass the light beams which is coming out from the source S to this n slit, and at these edges the light gets diffracted. So the diffracted beams moves like this, and with the help of the lens, this is lens, convex lens, I'm going to focus all the diffracted beam on the point P1. So this is P1. Now what I'm going to calculate means I'm going to calculate the path difference between these diffracted lines. Thereby I'm going to calculate the phase difference, and also I'm going to calculate the amplitude of the diffracted beam at the point P1 and the intensity of the diffracted beam at the point P1. Okay, let us see how can we calculate the path difference. So first I would like to see calculate the path difference between the ray A1 P1 and B1 P1. For our own convenience, let's see the diagram once again. Here we have A1 and we have P1 here. So I'm going to calculate the path difference between this ray and this ray. In order to calculate the path difference, we are supposed to draw a normal line from the beam AP1 to BP1. So this is the normal line, and here we are getting a triangle. So this is the triangle. This is the triangle A1, and this point is nothing but C, B1. So A1, C, B1 is the triangle where I am going to apply the sine law. So if this angle is theta, so sine theta can be written as opposite side B1C divided by hypothesis A1B1. From this you can calculate B1C is equal to A1B1 into sine theta, and you know the width of the opening is small a, so the A1B1 value is A. If so, means B1C can be written as A into sine theta. That is the path difference between these two lines. Similarly, I am going to calculate the path difference between this A1 P1 and A2 P2. So in order to calculate the path difference, you are supposed to draw the normal line from A1. It should meet the beam A2 P1. So once again, here you are getting another triangle, that is triangle A1 D A2. Here also I am going to apply the sine law. So sine theta is equal to opposite side A to D into A1 A2, and from this you can write A to D, which is equal to A1 in A2 into sine theta. So A1 A2, the distance is nothing but sum of the width of opening and the width of this opaque. So here we have A up to here, and here we have B. So A plus B is nothing but A1 A2 value. So A2 D can be written as A plus B into sine theta. So this is the path difference between these two lines. Now if you know the path difference, means immediately you can calculate the phase difference by applying this relation, phase difference equal to 2 pi by lambda times of path difference. So the phase difference between the ray A1 P1 and B1 P1 can be written as phase difference delta is equal to 2 pi into the path difference between these two beams is nothing but A into sine theta. So A into sine theta. So alpha can be, that delta can be written as 2 into alpha, or alpha can be written as delta by 2. So alpha is equal to 2 pi by, I'm sorry, here this 2 should not be here. So alpha is equal to pi by lambda into A sine theta. Similarly, you can calculate the phase difference between A2 P1 into, I'm sorry, A1 P1 into A2 P1. This should be. So here the phase difference, here the path difference is A plus B into sine theta. So the phase difference is equal to 2 pi by lambda into A plus B sine theta. And here also this 2 should not arise. So alpha is equal to pi by lambda into A sine theta, and beta is equal to pi by lambda into A plus B into sine theta. This is the phase difference. And by using the vector addition you can calculate the amplitude, and the amplitude of a single slit, you know, r is equal to a into sine alpha divided by alpha. Here you are supposed to consider the nearer slit also. So the another uh, um, the another factor is also coming here, that is nothing but sine square n beta divided by sine n beta. Here the capital N is nothing but number of slits. So the amplitude can be written as r is equal to a sine alpha divided by alpha into sine n beta divided by sine beta. If you know the amplitude means, by squaring the amplitude, you can calculate the intensity. So the intensity I is equal to a square sine square alpha divided by alpha square into sine square n beta divided by sine square beta. So we have two terms in the intensity expression. The first term arises because of this term. The first term arises because of the single slit, whereas this second term arises because of the combination of n slit. So this combination of n slit, that terms which gives an interference effect. So let us see about the interference. So I'm going to take the second term which is there in the intensity expression as z is equal to sine square n beta divided by sine square beta. I'm going to study about the intensity distribution on the of the diffracted beam on the screen. In order to study the interference effect, I'm going to do the differentiation of this z with respect to beta. So here we have u by v. We are supposed to apply u by v formula. So if you could apply u by v formula here, in the sense you will get the term like this, and I'm going to split this term into two. So like this is the first term, and this is the second term. So if we do like that, means we will get an expression like this. I'm going to do further simplification by cancelling this sine square beta and sine power 4, so which will give here sine square. Similarly here we have sine beta, and here we have sine power 4 beta, so which will give sine cube. So we have done the simplification and we got this expression. So we are going to do further simplification by taking the common term outside. The common term is 2 sin n beta. We have sin n beta on both the first and second term, and we have sin square beta. So if we have taken the common term outside, means remaining we have n cos n beta, and here we have sin n beta. We have taken one sin n beta outside, so remaining we have one sin n beta here, and cos beta. Similarly we have taken sin square beta outside, so we have remaining one sin beta here, and from this expression what I'm going to do means I'm going to take the sin n beta outside this bracket, which will give the term like this. And you know that cos by sin is nothing but cot, so you can write this term as cot n beta, and similarly here you have cot beta. So this expression gets modified into dz by d beta is equal to 2 into sine square n beta divided by sine cube beta into n cot n beta minus cot beta. Here n is nothing but the number of slits. Let us see how the intensity is being distributed in the screen. In order to study that, we should know where the maxima is and where the minima is. Let us find the condition for maxima. If we want to find the maximum intensity, means the sine beta term should be equal to 0. So if sine beta is equal to 0 means beta can be written as m into pi, and you know the beta value as pi by lambda into a plus b into sine theta. So pi by lambda into a plus b sine theta, which is equal to m pi, and which gives a plus b sine theta is equal to m pi. So this is the condition for maxima. In similar way, you can find the condition for minima also. If the intensity should be in minimum means, then sine n beta should be equal to 0. If so means n beta is equal to m pi, and you know the beta value as pi by lambda into a plus b into sine theta. So n into beta is equal to n pi by lambda into a plus b into sine theta, which is equal to n pi, and which gives n into a plus b into sine theta, which is equal to m lambda. So this is the condition for maxima, and this is the condition for minima. And so this gives the minima and the maxima position of the diffracted beam on the screen. Hope you know how can we calculate the intensity of the diffracted beam which is coming out from the end slit from this lecture. Thank you.